It's 2013. The Xbox One has just been revealed, and with it is a game known as Sunset Overdrive.
Cover mechanic, right? You and your crate are safe now.
It's funny, it's violent, and it's punk-inspired. And at the time, those three things drove my hormone-filled 15-year-old self absolutely wild. I had to play it, but when the time came, I ended up getting a PS4 instead. But unfortunately for me, that meant I wasn't able to play the favorite game that was Sunset Overdrive until now, after an unexpected PC port in November of 2018. At the time of release, I'd been working on my last video about my favorite releases of 2018, so as soon as that video was finished, I started up my first playthrough. And much to my surprise, Sunset Overdrive turned out to be one of my favorite games of all time, but not for the reasons you'd expect. Originally, I drafted up a script going into detail about the game and its systems, but it was actually really boring, and it didn't add anything to the point I was trying to make. So if you're looking for a review or an analysis of Sunset Overdrive, this is absolutely not the video for you. With that being said, with this essay I want to talk about Sunset Overdrive and how it uses its base mechanics to create a playground for the player to enjoy. Now, I'm saying playground because this game provides you with all the tools to create your own fun, unlike most open world games which are more akin to, say, amusement parks, by placing attractions like minigames and challenges all around the world for you to take part in. But don't get me wrong, Sunset Overdrive has those too, but they never felt like a substantial part of the game's content. I'm looking at you, Ubisoft. To create your own fun, the game gives you an extremely fluid movement system. You're able to grind, bounce, wall run, and dash your way around the map, while being encouraged to string all those moves together. It was said that Insomniac Games took inspiration from Jet Set Radio and the Tony Hawk franchise, and it is clearly reflected in this movement system. Sunset even gives you a combo counter for how many different moves you can string together in one run, encouraging you to never stop moving. While you're allowed to walk around on the street normally, I never felt like I needed to outside of the hub areas, since it was just so much more enjoyable to grind around the map. But what is a good movement system without a place you want to explore? Well, thankfully the game's Sunset City is beautifully handcrafted to allow for an unprecedented level of freedom of movement. Every single part of the map is accessible through the game's base movement system. You do unlock a few more moves throughout the game to make it easier to do so, but I had explored a majority of the map before even finishing the introduction stage of the game, with zero trouble getting around. While exploring the thoughtfully crafted open world, you'll have plenty of collectibles to, collect. They're collectibles, right? There are 9 different types of those collectibles in Sunset Overdrive, totaling in at a whopping 859 items. Now, 750 of those are part of the primary 5 collectible sets, those being sneakers, toilet paper, balloons, neon signs, and surveillance cameras. There are 150 of each spread around the map, each having their own specific mode of traversal in order to pick them up. Sneakers require you to undergrind, toilet paper requires a pull swing, balloons require a bounce or air dash, and occasionally both. Neon signs require you to wall run, and the cameras need to be shot or meleeed, which requires you to position yourself with different moves to do so. Occasionally you're able to cheese the system and collect an item without its specific move, but that seems like more of a feature and less of a bug, which is nice. I think Insomniac's intention for these collectibles requiring these specific moves to pick them up was to encourage the player to begin chaining different moves together instead of relying on just one or two exclusively. Once you get that movement system nailed down and begin chaining different moves together, not only does the game become immensely more enjoyable, but it begins to show the amount of effort that was put into making every single part of the game world centered around its movement system. While Sunset City isn't nearly as big as other contemporary open world games, the density and insane amount of detail put into it makes up for the fact. There are points throughout the game where I just stopped what I was doing to take in the beautiful graffiti art that covers almost every surface in the game. While the city is designed to cater to the game's movement, there is never a point where it stopped feeling like an actual lived-in city, which I think is one of the main reasons why it's so fun to play in. You want to keep moving around so you can keep finding those new collectibles and discover hidden secrets spread around the colorful open world. Now, I'm sure you're all saying, well, that is all fine and dandy, but isn't this game about killing zombies? And I would say, well, hold your goddamn horses, I'm not finished yet. The game features 3 enemy factions, each having different variants or types, if you will. The first and most common are the OD, which are people who are mutated by an experimental energy drink. So there's that. Anyway, the OD pretty much act as zombies. So you got your basic guys, you got your slimy guys, the big guys, the not as big guys, that shootout guys, the frozen guys, the jumping guys, and some big old guys that just fly around. As bland as I made that sound, they're actually the most interesting and varied enemy type in the game. Sadly, those other 2 factions are nowhere near as fleshed out. You got your run-of-the-mill, post-apocalyptic bandits. They're called scabs. I don't know why, I don't even think the game tells you why, that's just their name. So, yeah. They got their basic ranged, melee, and heavy variants. Then you got your main antagonists, the Fizzco robots. Fizzco is the company that made that energy drink. They got the same basic, ranged, and melee variants, but they also have some turret and giant mech variants that kinda spice things up, but not too much. Even though there are very few enemy types, the game compensates for the fact by providing you, the player, with 24 unique and fantastical weapons to kill stuff with. Now, the weapons range from basic revolvers and machine guns to the more odd bowling ball launchers, acid sprinklers, and a harpoon gun that sprays soda. So I think you get the idea here. These varied weapons each serve a very specific purpose, and as with the game's movement system, you're encouraged to create combos by using multiple weapons for maximum damage output, or just straight up craziness. While I did mention the plot earlier, Sunset Overdrive definitely isn't trying to tell some profound story. It knows it's a video game and embraces the fact. Missions are just thinly veiled MacGuffins that serve the purpose of getting you to play the game. On the same topic, the writing is absolutely hilarious. Dialogue is full of pop culture references and fourth wall breaks. It takes the opportunity to poke fun at other games as well as itself, and it revels in the opportunities games as a medium provide, which is refreshing after playing so many plot-heavy games and interactive movies in the past few years. While some jokes haven't aged particularly well, Sunset Overdrive remains to be as relevant as it was at the beginning of the 8th console generation. Okay, so we're nearing the end of the video, and I think it's about time for me to explain what the hell I've been trying to convey with this essay. So here it is. Sunset Overdrive is a game about having fun. Now before you call me a goddamn idiot, because of course games are supposed to be fun, just 1 second, hear me out. Sunset Overdrive was made to be fun first, before anything else. It wasn't meant to tell a story, nor was it meant to print money. It was a love letter to gaming. Every single bit of the game's design was focused on providing that playground for the player to run rampant in. It wants you to play around. It wants you to pull off some of those crazy stunts, blow up a dozen bad guys, and climb up the tallest building just to jump off of it. It wants to provide that childlike feeling of freedom that only video games can give you. And it does that damn near perfectly. Alright, that about wraps things up, so thank you so much for watching if you made it all the way to the end. If you liked the video, you can give it a like, you can give it a subscribe, you can check out the other stuff I've made on this channel, but I would really recommend that you guys check out my other project right now. It's called Neon Carnival. Here it is on the screen. Ta-da! So what Neon Carnival is a cool little collaborative project I've done with my good friend. We have a little podcast, we make some gaming content, we make some short films, kind of stuff like that. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, please go check it out right now. So that's about everything I have to say. So thanks for watching again, and here's some bloopers. See you later. Bye. In this essay, then you got your main ankylosaurus, but it begins to. I'm fucking dying, dude.